Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another great episode of the Grue Rume Show. And for the Grue Rume today, we got a very special guest, someone I'm very excited and happy to interview. She starred in Ash versus the Evil Dead, and she will be in the Evil Dead video game that's coming out soon, coming out in May, I I believe. She's a big horror fan, and her name is Dana DeLorenzo. And I'm really looking forward to talking to her. I'm a big fan of the Evil Dead series and a big fan of hers. So I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Rume, and my interview with Dana is coming up next. Okay, welcome to Grue, and thanks so much for taking time out and coming on.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be here. We were just Are you still laughing from our little mini conversation before this?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I basically was just we telling him about my technical difficulties in life and going off on a tangent. And apparently he thinks it's funny because you also have the same issues, but
Definitely.
But also you've been very patient today. Rocco, thank you. Can I call you Rocco on here?
Of course.
My paisan.
Exactly. You know, us Italians have to stick together, right?
That's true. We got to eat together. We got to fight together. We got to stick together. It's like it's the first three rules.
Exactly.
We got to love each other. We got to love each other. That's part of that. But that's not even a rule because it's a given. It's a given.
You know, I have to ask this Italian question. Do you call it gravy or sauce?
I come from sauce.
Okay.
I come from sauce. But my one of my best friends, who's also a paisan, his family he's from Chicago, and they call it, I just said it with an accent, with my Chicago accent. I used to live there for 10 years. So sometimes when I say Chicago, I go back into my Chicago. He calls it, it was hilarious. Actually funny. See, this is what I mean. I go off on tangents. You pull one thread and look out. But when I spent, I couldn't go home for a couple Thanksgivings when I was in college at DePaul in Chicago. And so I went with his family. And when they said they were going to have ravioli, I think it was like raviolis and gravy. And I was like, I tried so hard not to make a face because I had never heard it called gravy. And then when it came out, I was like, oh, I thought we were having gravy. And they're like, it is gravy. And I was like, what? And it took me a second, and they're like, you stupid. What do you mean? Oh, so anyway, it was funny back then because anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a gravy or sauce guy?
Well, you know, I live in Philly, so it's great gravy here, like in Philly, and so I mean.
Well, you know what's funny? I wonder. Okay, I wonder what, you know what, then my father must have just converted to the Sicilian side with my mom, because my mom's side is mostly Sicilian. My dad's side is mostly Italian. And my grandpa, who as my last name, DeLorenzo, my grandpa George is from Philly, from Fulton, and
really?
lived on Fulton and Broad.
Oh yeah, okay.
Way back when, like then he ended up moving to where I'm from in Ohio, but I think my dad, because my dad didn't make the sauce. My mom and my mom's side, they all made the sauce. So I think he probably lost, even if he grew up calling it gravy, he had to convert to my mother who was making it. And man, there's nothing like homemade. There's nothing like homemade gravy.
Yes, I know. It's so good. And do you even do like the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve and all that?
You know what? They used to do that. My aunt used to do that. And then but I think they kind of gave it up, and we ended up just narrowing it down to one, because 7 is a little excessive sometimes when you have a smaller group. I almost said shitting on, and I think that's not a good thing to say. Can I swear in here? Oh God.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, well, I didn't want to say I'm not shitting on the Catholic religion, which is what we are, because I just feel like that's a terrible thing to say. But I'm not. I'll say poo-pooing the Catholic. Is it even Catholic tradition? I thought so. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
It's only Catholic, right?
Yeah,
It's
I think only the
not
Catholics
Christian,
do that.
right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. See, this is why I sound so stupid. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. It's been a minute since I've been in CCD, which was our after school program for any Catholics. And that's since I didn't go to Catholic school, my parents were like, here, you've been in school all day, go to more school and learn about Jesus and God. It's like, and I retained nothing. Oh, I'm terrible. Oh God, now I have to do it. It's Ash Wednesday. Now I have to do that. I feel like mother. Oh boy, I'm in a rare form tonight, guys. Whoever is still watching this already, I apologize. This is probably why Rocco was laughing at the beginning, because I am in a silly fucking mood.
It's good.
No, I am not drunk. No, I have not been smoking ashes. Maui wowie. No, I did not drink any. Fuck. This is just Dana tired and slap happy, and then I get silly.
Yeah. So, like the question I know you're a big fan of horror films, of course. Yeah. And what are some horror films you really love watching?
Oh, I love watching. Oh, I mean, let's see. I always pick the same ones because I'm more of a, I have to be honest. I don't love a lot of I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen a lot of the new ones. I have not seen a lot of the newer ones.
Yeah.
Of genre of horror. Because after being on a horror show, I kind of just wanted to, I don't know, watch some other things. But I tend to go to the classics. I tend to go to the stuff I watched in my formative years. Mm-hmm. Exorcist, come on. It's my first official horror film that I watched when I was 12 with my parents, because of course, Catholic Italian. And then my mind was blown when they told me, Linda Blair when she filmed it was the same age you are now, little 12-year-old Dana. And I to this day, I will always hold a candle for her, because I could not believe someone my age at the time when I was watching it would film that role. Anyway, and that goes into like the bucket list when I got to be possessed on Ash vs. Evil Dead, moving on from that. But Night of the Living Dead, I think my dad said was the first one, because that was the first one that they showed me, because it was not as intense. But then I went to, I mean, it is intense, but not like The Exorcist.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And I also tend to, when I can find them, go back to some horror comedy stuff. Like, these were very old movies, but again, my dad showed them to me when I was young and I loved them. But like Abbott and Costello meet. It's a series of movies, like Abbott and Costello meet Dracula. Oh God, that still remains to be one of the funniest horror.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, it's good.
Yes, of course.
Man,
course.
so my dad, because my brother and I performed. This is such a long story, but cut to the chase. My brother and I, from my dad's idea, because my dad is my dad. When my brother and I were very little, like he was 6 and I was 10, I don't even know how it started, but we performed Abbott and Costello's most famous skit, Who's on First?
Yeah.
And to be honest, I know anybody who knows that, like, look, you can't come close to those guys. But as kids, we actually really crushed it. But anyway, so in order to since at the time, there was no Netflix or anything. So we couldn't see the video clip of that or no YouTube even. So we couldn't see a clip of them doing that. So in order for us to sort of understand who they were and their timing and everything, he rented from like a Blockbuster, Abbott and Costello, those movies, meets The Mummy, meets The Werewolf. And so yeah, I was 9 or 10 at the time. And I think that really solidified my love for horror and comedy. And then some of the other horror ones, like I don't know. Again, just things that I love, like that I grew up with. I mean, I don't think The Craft is considered horror, but
I mean, it's in that category.
And like The Ring, Sixth Sense also isn't considered horror, but I love Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Freddy Krueger still scares the shit out of me. I will watch Halloween every Halloween.
Yes.
Again, American Psycho is more of a thriller, or Psycho is more of a thriller than not. But yeah. So I do more of the classics, but I have not seen too many of. I probably have. My brain is so tired. I can't. Why am I still talking for a very simple question? That could have been
good. It's good.
In 30 seconds. I told you guys. Good night, everybody. I'm talking.
You mentioned about like renting videos at Blockbuster. Like me, I was more of like those smaller mom and pop videos.
I was too. I just didn't think your audience would know what like Hollywood Video or Family Video was. But yeah, continue, please.
Oh my god! That's what I like, because I always rented horror films, and the little mom and pop stores, like the ones that didn't have a name, they were the ones that had all the rare horror films and the hard to find ones.
Yes, that is very true. And they didn't card you if you needed to be over 18 or over 13.
Sure.
Although I'd always need an adult if I was 13 anyway, even if it was my own money that I made with, babysitting, but you still had to have like an adult. Actually, and yeah, Army of Darkness was the first one I saw because we rented it. Nice. Even though but I love what you're saying. You're saying like the really, the real good ones,
yes,
the ones that you can't find.
Yes.
The specialty ones. See, I was also in Youngstown, Ohio, and we didn't really have, it was not, I feel like bigger cities tend to have like those really cool guerrilla style or lesser known, not major motion picture ones.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's so awesome that you got to do that.
Oh,
but yeah, God, I was going to just say Army of Darkness is one that my two best friends, they were guys a year older than me, my best buddies in high school. And we watched, they had already seen it, but that was my first time I watched Army of Darkness. And at first I liked it, but at first I was like, this isn't horror. This is more comedy. And I liked it, but I didn't fully get it until I really didn't appreciate it as much as after I was in college and saw Bubba Hotep. And I was like, yo, it's that Army of Darkness guy. And then I went back and watched it again. And I was like, oh man, this is fucking crazy. And then I saw Evil Dead 2. Yeah.
Anyway. Nice. So look, when you first read the script for Ash versus the Evil Dead, Kelly is badass. Like she kicks ass. She curses you out. Like, what was the first thoughts you had of Kelly reading that script?
Well, let me think how to answer it. Because all I had before I got the part were the audition scenes, and two of them didn't even exist really in the script. They were just scenes for an audition for the part.
Oh,
and okay. The script for the first episode, if it really, it was mostly setting up the story and mostly Bruce. So Kelly's stuff, what were my first thoughts? Okay. Because I guess what I'm saying is Kelly really doesn't come into her own as a badass really until episode 6 with that deli slicer scene.
Oh right? My God, yes.
Because she has to lose her mother and watch her mother put a fork through her father's eye in order to really get on board. Because if you remember in the first episode, she's kind of like, who the hell is this guy?
Right.
Idiot. Don't touch me. I'm going to break your wooden hand.
Yes. Yeah.
But the elements were there. So I would say, what were my thoughts? I mean, I'm trying to even think. I was just so fucking happy to be there. My thoughts were, oh God, please don't kill me off in the next episode. Please don't kill me off in the next episode. Like, we never knew. We only got each script like the day before we were going to shoot the first scene.
Really?
We were going to shoot. You know, we shot out of order. We got the pilot, the first episode once we were all there. But after that, I mean, the writers are always still writing, whatever. So I would say my first thought was just like, man, I love this franchise. I'm so happy to be here. And I could see the bare bones of Kelly, and I knew what I wanted to bring to the role. And I really loved her smart ass humor.
Yes.
And she was very scrappy, because she did in episode 1. There's that scene with Deadite Mrs. Johnson where the finger's about to go in the eye, and then or before that actually, but then Kelly starts, you know, being scrappy. So the idea was, oh no, this girl has gone into some street fights. Like, she can fight. But then just like Ash and just like Pablo and that they're not superheroes. They don't just magically have skills. So myself and the writers, but the writers, give all the credit. They were very conscious of not, for Kelly at least, to not make her like, I had to learn as Dana along with Kelly, because they wanted to keep it real. So that's why, like, when the first time I shoot a gun, the semi-automatic for the Deadites with the episode 7, and I almost shoot Pablo in the face. It's like, you know, we wanted to make it realistic. Like, I'm not just gonna pick up the gun and know how to shoot it, when in real life I don't. You know, so we had to work all that out, and I really liked that. I liked that Kelly's strength was being able to pick things up very quickly. And her ability to turn anything into a weapon. She had a lot of creative weapons. I really liked her ability to think on her feet. And later on, I really loved that her other ability was just saying fuck as many ways as she could, which that was Bruce Campbell's idea, actually. I think after episode 3 at the table read, and he had to say fuck or something. And he said, you know what? Because I tended to swear a lot as Dana anyway, as I am Italian, not to stereotype myself. My parents wouldn't appreciate it, but because they didn't want me to swear so much, but so fucking what?
Exactly.
But yeah, with Bruce Campbell's idea, is like, I'd rather Ash only say non sequitur swear words that are that, like, meaning, you know, oh, dip, or like things that are just silly, or like suck my hairy bills, ball, you know, things like that. Or maybe he said ball bill, I don't know, but either way. But then he goes, and I think we should delegate Miss Potty Mouth Dana to say all the F bombs. And I was like, I'll take it. So then it was became my mission to always throw in ideas with the writers of, like, just putting in the word fuck any, like, in between stuff, like Heidi fucking ho boys. That was my suggestion. Like, back off now, I'll, you know, fuck your face with bullets. Like, anytime I could say fuck, I would try and find a way.
There you go. I like it.
Good. I'm gonna tell my parents that so they can stop being mad. Or my dad, so they can stop being mad.
You know, one of the shows I was a big fan of was Xena, and to actually have Lucy on the show was like, wow, yes. I was like, oh my God, Xena is in Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I mean, how good? Because she's actually married to the executive producer, the original executive producer of Evil Dead, Rob Tappert. Okay. But also, so Rob Tappert was the creator, the executive producer of Hercules, or Young Hercules, Xena, all of those things that Bruce was in with her, and Ted and everybody. So, and we shot the show in New Zealand, which is where Lucy and Rob live. So yeah, I think that, no, let me take that back. I'm making it sound like, oh, why is she, that's why she's in it. No, she's in it because she's a badass. And by the way, she is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. I saw her in broad daylight for the first time, and she's like right when we were, I don't know, when I first got there, and they were in the cafeteria, and it was like overhead skylight, like she had no makeup on. And as it was lunchtime, and I hadn't met her yet.
Yeah.
And as I didn't even know she was in the room, and it's a cafeteria style, so I had my little tray, and I was going to sit at a table, and I'm just like looking around, like, oh, I'm in New Zealand, I'm on a set, and then someone grabs my arm, and I look, and as I'm looking at this person, she is saying, I helped get you hired. And as she's saying that, I didn't really hear her, because as I'm looking, I'm like, I'm like, oh God, oh, this woman is so beautiful in my head. Like, oh my God, this is actually what happened in my head. Yeah. Oh my God, this woman is so beautiful. She's in broad daylight. She has no makeup on. Oh my God, it's Lucy Lawless. Lucy, wait, what did she just say? Oh, she got me high. And then I'm like trying to catch up, and I go, hi, Lucy Lawless. And then I think I might have said, she might have had to say it twice about getting me hired. And I go, I'm sorry, I'm just staring at how beautiful your face is, and you have no pores on your face. You have no pores. She's the most beautiful. But beyond that, God, Lucy Lawless is so funny as a human being. Yeah. I know Ruby was more serious than a villain, but as a human being, God, I miss her so much. She is so, I'm going to swear, fucking smart. You guys, like my mother even meant, why am I talking about my parents so much? See, it's what we started with the Italian.
Right, exactly.
My mother, I got to bring my mom and my brother up, and my mother got to meet her, and she's like, I'll tell you what, she's not only beautiful, she's a fucking Mensa. That's what my mom, no, she really is. So I had the best time, especially season 2, when I got to spend scenes like one-on-one with Lucy. And she was like a prankster. She would come and like snap my bra strap right before the scene, and then cackle when it would be like beet red. And I'd be like, ow, I'm trying to do this. Oh God, I love that woman so much. I love them all. I love Bruce Campbell so much. I can't believe like Lee Majors, all these people. Man, and Lucy. But so anyway, where I was going with Lucy is, I don't want anybody to take what I just said as like, oh, she was only in it because of whatever. No, I was saying the history that she has with Evil Dead, with Rob being the executive producer of the first one. Also, Lucy having great chemistry with anybody, but with Bruce from the show she had done with him before. And yeah, man, it was great to work with her. It was great to watch her and Bruce and everybody. And man, yeah.
And like by watching like the series and of course the films, is Bruce as funny and fun in person as his character Ash is?
Yes. Yes. Now I will qualify, when a lot of people ask us like, how fun was it on set? And it's hard to explain unless you like watched a TV show being filmed. Even if it's like a sitcom, because you see just how long it actually takes and how fast you move and how much has to be crammed in. So is he like that in real life? Yeah, he's not stupid. He's definitely not dumb like Ash. He's another really smart one. He reads like a book a week. I'm like, who went you have time?
Oh my God.
Other things, because he's just so smart. And he's writing a million books. I'm like, Bruce Campbell, who are you? But so when we're on set, there really wasn't a lot of days where you could just dick around and be silly, but on the, like in the scenes or the days, if we had a little more time or it was taking a little bit longer for the crew to set up the shot, we would all have a giggle for sure. But then outside of especially when we weren't working, when you're just hanging out with Bruce Campbell, God, that guy can tell a million stories, and each one to this day. I saw him recently. We went out to lunch with me and him and his beautiful wife, Ida. And she's a great storyteller too, by the way. They're like this power couple. But like to this day, he can tell a story. And I'm just like, because he's such an amazing Ranketeer. So is Sam Raimi. Meanwhile, This one over here, you ask one question and it's like, it goes off on tangents. I don't even know where it goes. And then 20 minutes later, it still doesn't have an ending and I haven't answered your question. So yeah. So if you guys want to learn how to be a good host on a show, or a good guest on a show, or be a good storyteller, don't listen to me. Listen to Bruce Campbell and Lucy and Sam, because he's great. He's the best. I love him. Nice. He's like Uncle Bruce. That's all I gotta say. I could seriously go on and on about the guy. I'm just so grateful, and he was so kind and so I don't know, just like kind with it, like meaning like, but then we would always still have a good volley and a good like ball busting relationship in like the loving way, Nice. But he was so good about, taking me under his chainsaw arm.
Under his chainsaw, I like that.
He was good. He was good. He didn't coddle us, but he set the tone. He set the bar. And basically, like, you just wanted to be as good as him in every scene, especially when you were with him. He doesn't fuck up. You know what I mean? He doesn't really mess up at all, which is bizarre because everybody sort of, I would, slip of the tongue or I couldn't think of the exact word or whatever. Everybody's a human. It's a human just right now is speaking. I'm not saying each word exactly like I'm saying the pauses and whatever. He nails his lines in one take every time.
Damn. Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I don't mean just he gets a line right. We can memorize our lines and get our lines right. I'm saying he delivered it. I'm saying you can memorize your lines all day and I could do 5 takes and they're all terrible. I'm serious. I'm just serious. That's just why acting can be really tough sometimes if you're dumb like me. But, he would know, especially if it was a one-liner, like something that was funny. A comedy's really hard to do because when you know the line is funny, sometimes you try and oversell it and it's not funny. Like, I'm sure everybody actually knows what I'm talking about. If you've ever tried to tell a joke, anybody who's watching, or if you've ever had something in your head, like a story that had just happened and it was funny, and then you really try too hard to be funny when you're telling it, 9 times out of 10, it's not funny. But when you just deliver it and you don't sell it too hard, it ends up killing, right? It's like when you don't try so hard to be funny. Exactly. Am I making sense, or am I being too
no, you're making sense.
It's really hard to do, and like the way he does it, and he does it every time. It's like, boom, he's on set, camera up, up. We rehearse the scene and he does it right before the camera's even rolling.
Oh my God.
Like, no.
Yes, exactly.
That's why he's Bruce Campbell.
Exactly.
Hail to the king.
And you're in a brand new game that's coming out in May. You're in the Evil Dead game.
Yes.
And oh my God, like, how was it like doing the voice for the character again and actually being in a video game? Like, that has to be so awesome.
It's mind-blowing to me, Rocco, because I also, as a young horror child and horror adolescent, I really, really spent a lot of time playing video games. But these were the old systems. These were not what they are today, because sadly, my remote controllers that I grew up with weren't so sensitive. The joysticks, you now can just go, and it's like, Pew!
I know, tell me about it.
I play a video game now on any of my friends' consoles, I'm so used to like, because I really get into the game.
Yes, exactly.
And that when you just, now that like running or walking is like, and before I had to be like put the controller down on it, like old school Nintendo, and like so I need practice nowadays. My 6-year-old self would be really embarrassed by my 30-something-year-old self. But so I am so blown away that I'm going to be in this game. Again, it's one of those things like, I'll believe it fully when it's in my hand.
Well,
I've
yeah,
seen
exactly.
what you guys have seen. I haven't seen any more than what's out there. Like,
oh, okay.
when you record, we recorded the lines and then they're going to put it in there with the animation. Like,
Gotcha.
yeah, because they had to, I mean, it takes a lot of work to make a game, any sort of animation, but especially a game. So they wanted to get our lines in there first. And yeah, are you kidding me? Getting to step back into Kelly Maxwell mode, and I got to help collaborate on some lines. I don't know if they'll be in
nice.
there. And like, I got to also like I don't know. I'm not even being coy. I don't know if any of this is going to be in there.
Okay.
But I also got to like just say to, make the suggestion like, hey, there were just a couple things that I felt like that Kelly did not get to see come to fruition in the series. Things that were sort of built up that never got the payoff for her, or other things I would have liked to, whatever. So I said, if maybe this is going to be the last opportunity. So maybe you could throw in, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, because I'll tell you what, if it's in the game, I'm going to be even happier. But even if it's not, who cares? Because I'm so already happy. Yeah, I actually am such a nerd that in order to really channel Kelly for the video game, because I went in, this was my maybe last August of 2021, I think. Or was it 2020? I actually have no concept of time anymore. But it was like still pandemic, as we still sort of are. But like, I had to go into the room, to the recording studio by myself. The engineer was on the other side of the double pane glass, and the writer and director were on Zoom. So it's not like I'm acting with anybody, like my Pablo or my Ash.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wanted to really do justice to this for you guys. And so I put on, wait for it, my Kelly Maxwell, one of my favorite wardrobe pieces that I got to keep of hers. And I put on literally my Kelly jeans that I wore in the show.
Yeah.
The shoes, the Kinks, the black and pink like tank top that you see in season 3. And I brought my purple leather jacket, one of them, in the car, but I didn't keep it on because it was I was making too much noise when I was doing all the grunts and because you kind of feel like an idiot, because it's the same thing with doing ADR. Like if you have to re-record some lines or add some fight noises to the show, even what we had to do. But when you're like, huh,
yeah, exactly.
you're like, so in order to not sound silly, I really wanted to get back into, because I'm also not looking at anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like I'm really seeing the demon in front of me, or the deadite, because like when I saw those deadites, they were fucking scary in real life. I actually could not eat lunch at the same table if they had their white sclera eyes.
No.
Because I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking around. I know this makes me look not cool, but you guys, they're really even more terrifying in person.
Oh, damn.
I can't explain it. So I had to do very little acting when it came to that on the show, and I had to be afraid. And I'm like, it's okay. I know. I don't know. I know I'm a horror. I know. But I just think deadites specifically, just like the first Evil Dead, I think they are the level of scary as The Exorcist, as Linda Blair.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
But I think they're scarier than really any other. Scarier than Jason, scarier than Freddy. Sorry, I do, because deadites with those white eyes, but it's the giggle. It's the giggle.
Yes.
And it's the sing song you wear.
Yeah.
But it's the giggling. It's the maniacal nature of deadites that to me is the most terrifying of any sort of horror genre, because it's the fact that they are enjoying it and
Mm-hmm.
giggling. I can't explain that, but that's what it's scary to me. It's like, I don't know. I'm sure all the horror demons and all the genres and all the films are enjoying it, but I mean it, they're enjoying it in a really disturbing way to me. And so then I see them in person, and even though it's just an actor, I
Oh
can't
yeah.
separate it.
Yeah, exactly.
I really could not eat if they just had the makeup on and not the white scaleras, fine, but maybe. But it's like, because you're looking at them and it's disgusting. It is a
No, it
terrifying.
is. I mean, seeing them on television is like, ugh.
Exactly. But you would like, I think some people have asked me, like, are they, is it, they're probably not as scary in person. Is it because of the music and because of the whole thing when you're watching a film? I said, no, for me, they were every single time. And may I just take a moment, because I don't give enough. I should do this more. I have never really called out anyone who's gotten to play a Deadite in the Evil Dead franchise. And I need to call them out, because I call them out and give them a shout out and kudos.
Yeah.
Because I won't go. I know I'm just still talking and rambling, but I don't think if anybody has ever been in prosthetics, you'll get it. If anyone has ever made prosthetics or done any of that. But let me just tell you, the stories you hear about prosthetics are true, where it's hot, it doesn't breathe. It takes, these people who had to be Deadites, if we started shooting at 7 a.m., because I would have to be in like the makeup chair at like 4 a.m. or whatever.
Oh, okay.
At the latest. But if we would start shooting at 7, have a rehearsal a little before that, the Deadites actors playing the Deadites, whoever was a Deadite, had to be there at like 2:30 or 3 in the morning with the makeup on, because it takes 4 to 5 hours.
Oh my God.
Put that on every single time. And then what no one tells you is then when they're completely blind with the scleras, those big white eyes, they're blind. So if they and they are painful. I got fitted for them, and they gave me smaller black ones when I was playing Possessed in the first season. But those actual scleras are hard, like they're hard contacts. And even just getting fitted for them in my eyes, it hurts. So after like 20 minutes, when they put them in, you start getting those headaches. I'm just trying to give credit to these people, because they were so good. You wouldn't have Evil Dead without Deadites.
Oh no, exactly.
And the fact that like you're in all of that, you're covered in blood. You're usually then you also have the hands and your hair. And by the time then, and then you usually have a wound at some point when we're of the shooting, and more blood that's ripping your hair out, and because it dries and it turns into a wax. So, and then it takes like, I think 2.5 hours to remove it, because you can't just rip off the face.
Yes, exactly.
Like, go with a Q-tip and alcohol. I'm sorry if this is boring to anybody else, but I and I'm not trying to say like being an actor is hard. But it's harder than people think in certain days, like when certain jobs you have to do like that. And I didn't even have to do it. I'm just saying this to what I witnessed. And I think we need to, I, as an actor, would like to give credit to anyone who's played a Deadite ever, or anyone who has to be in prosthetics on any show. I'll just open it up, because man, oh man, bravo. Sorry, that was a tangent. I'm going to get off my soapbox.
It's all right. Well, I'm looking like the half hour is there. So can I ask?
I know.
Like
shocker! Because I've answered 3 questions. Nobody's still watching this, Rocco. They have 2, not because of you. They're just like, right. I thought Rocco's interviews were about 30 minutes. It's now an hour and a year later. And she's still talking. Okay.
It's all right.
No, so if you have any other, we can go another. I mean, it's up to you, because I know it's
I was
let's get another. We'll say 2 questions, or like 5, 2 to 3 questions, or 5 to 10 minutes. Because knowing me, you'll ask 1, it'll be another 10 minutes.
All right. If I could ask 2 more, then right.
You know what? You ask me as many as you want, and I'll keep an eye on the time.
Okay.
Because for whatever reason, you seem to be fucking enjoying this. And
it is. It's great.
The only one in your audience, because you were glutton for punishment with me here. You're just, I'll take it, Rocco. Rocco, I have a question. Can I call you every day and you can be my therapist?
Sure.
Or I'll just sit here and bitch about my life and things, and you'll just laugh.
Okay.
And I'll feel like I'm funny, and I feel like that I'm entertaining you, and my problems will seem, my stress or whatever I got going on in my life, I'll be like, oh, it's no big deal because Rocco thinks it's hilarious and I'm making it laugh, so everything's fine. All right. You can bill me later.
Okay, deal. Okay. It's good. It's a deal. I'm doing it.
Oh, such a nice boy from Philly. You Philly boys are so good. Makes me want, oh man. Makes me want a cheesesteak so bad right now.
Ah, nice. Yeah,
nice. Give me some of those Amorosa rolls.
Oh yeah.
It's dinner time here, so that's why I'm getting hungry. Hey, that'll make me shut up. Is that when I get too hungry, then all of a sudden I'm like, I need to eat, and then good. Yes, sir. Go ahead and ask whatever you want to ask within reason. No, I'm just kidding.
So for Ash versus the Evil Dead, like out of all the scenes you did and the seasons you were in, what do you think was the scene you had the most fun with?
Okay. Fun for me translates to like relaxed and having a good time, which were always the scenes where it was a bunch of us. Okay. So like the bar, because it was a little bit more relaxed, because it usually was just a lot of like dialogue. There weren't a lot of action sequences or practical effects or whatever that you had to all figure out. So like the bar scenes, I had fun watching Lee Majors and Bruce Campbell. I had fun watching Lucy and Lee. I had fun watching Bruce and Ted Raimi. Like that to me was fun because it was easier than not, and it was not a lot of it. Like again, it was just more like, hey, the gang's all here. It's a party. In terms of intrinsically, what was, sure, we could call it fun, but it was really intense and really, really hard. But I knew it meant a lot to me, and I knew I needed to do it justice. So I also put a lot of pressure on myself, but it was also like, it was all the things, but and it was the most challenging, but in the end, I look back on it as like exactly what I thought I would look back on it as, or hoped I would, which is, man, I'm so happy and so grateful I got to do that. And the two things that always come to mind is playing Possessed.
Yeah.
Which that was a very tough like week of shooting, but in a good way. In the end, like you don't remember the toughness, you don't remember the other stuff. You just like, yeah, no, I remember this was stuff, but this with my, like the teeth kept falling out, and then I got electrocuted, and then I was bashing my head on that thing, which I don't know how to do, like not as hard, and then I had a massive, I think I gave myself a concussion.
Oh
but that was all me. That was my own fault, because I don't know how to half-ass anything. Yeah, but so playing Possessed, that episode 5 was even 4 and 5 when it was the transition, but that was a dream, as I was talking about with Linda Blair and The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And that damn puppet, that ashy slashy asshole, the little cheeky monkey. I love puppets. First of all, when I say that line, you are adorable, that was Dana coming through, because that little Bruce Campbell, Ash Williams, the cute one, not the possessed one. I'm telling you, now imagine like the first time you saw it. The first time I saw it, I was like, it's a little Bruce.
Yeah, exactly.
But like Ernie from Sesame Street at the same time, it's like, it's the cutest thing. And then he bit my face off.
Yes.
But yeah, learning how to like puppeteer even the basics and having to do all that on the day. Like there was only time to rehearse it that 12-hour shoot day by myself with my own puppet, like shooting it at the same time. So it was really challenging, but man, I knew it was an homage to Evil Dead 2 with Bruce.
Oh yeah, of course.
So it was like I just didn't want to fuck it up. You know, I wanted it to be what I knew it could be, and I hope that it turned out well. But I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed it. But
oh yeah,
I look back on that day, and I still play with that puppet all the time. Like when I do like cameo videos or whatever, any excuse I can. Nice. I mean, actually, I just put him away. I think he tends to move around. I'm not even kidding. The good one. I also have the possessed one with the teeth.
Yeah.
That is buried. I put it in my home, like my home that I grew up in, my dad's house now. And I'm like, Dad, sorry. He won't come after you though. But I'm telling you, this one moves around and I don't like it. I don't like it. But his chainsaw's like broken because I beat him up so much. Oh, it's funny to me. But yeah, so those are my two. The playing possessed and fighting my own hand with a little ashy slashy on my hand.
Yes. And okay, I will ask like this question now because I said two, so
oh my goodness. Well, go ahead and ask it, and if we have time for the third one, we'll make it 3. Let's go.
Okay.
I'm the one that's talking long, not you.
I see you're a big fan of Amy Winehouse, and you did a band where you covered her songs, right?
I did.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes. It was called House of Whinehouse. And it was one of those things that started or that happened very serendipitously and in a way that like to this day I can't believe actually happened, because I loved her before she even really hit big here. I'll never forget the day I first heard her voice, and it was I didn't set out to do an Amy Winehouse tribute band.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that big of an idiot, because I'm the first to say, and to this day will still say, no one can come close to her talent, especially me. I'm just saying. But I loved her. And it started as winning a Halloween costume contest where I never win anything. And I've never won a contest to this day. I think that's the only contest I've ever won. And it was right when the song Rehab was out. And I don't know why I won, but I won. But I did it all. And then that parlayed into me doing an impression for a sketch show audition. And then that parlayed into as I was in the theater scene there with my friends, and we were all broke actors, and everyone's trying to raise money for their theater group. So my friend was like, "Hey, do you have an act you want to do? What if you did an Amy Winehouse thing and sang a couple songs?" So, and then blah 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 blah. Really, in spite of myself, this band came together. And I was our own manager. And to be honest, I lost money doing it because I had to pay, the band members, and I had to pay those tattoos that I put on of hers were like $50 from the UK every time. But I'll tell you what, to this day, in a different way than Ash versus Evil Dead was, it was the best time of my life. And for the record, our last performance was the week before she died. And when she died, it was really, I still take it very, very hard because she became this, she opened so many doors for me. And I just wanted to share in the love of her music and who she was with fellow fans. And or like the biggest compliment I could get was when fans of hers would come up to me. It's not like I had an album. Like I would stay in character the whole time. I'd be like, buy my album Back to Black and Funk. Like I would never, there was nothing for me to promote. I just,
Yeah.
let me tell you, let's put it this way. If you had a chance or you could fake well enough your favorite rock star,
Yeah.
go pretend to be them and not, and everybody knows you're pretending, but it's fun and they'll pretend with you. Who wouldn't want to do that? It was a dream come true. Like that's why I was like, just here, I don't care. Like it was just purely for the love of her and the love of doing it. And we stopped the day she died. I wasn't, because then anyway, I wasn't ever going to look like we capitalized on anything. And
Okay.
but I've started now. It's been 10 years, and I just put on the Get Up again. I have a video up.
Oh wow.
Putting on the Get Up for the first time in 10 years.
Wow.
It's been 10 years since she passed, or it was in this Halloween. And I've dabbled in singing her, some stuff at karaoke or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. But yes, sorry, this one I will talk forever about, because if you don't know her music, or you think you know what she is, it's not what the media has portrayed. She's really she's probably one of the greatest, but one of the greatest vocalists of all time. So I hope people check her out. And she's got stuff that might surprise people, like ska covers and whatnot. I think there's a little something for everyone. So
definitely, yeah.
My homage to Amy.
There you go.
She's like, yeah, fuck off, get on with it. He doesn't want to hear you. Shut the fuck up, you wank. Copy that, Amy. Yep, right on.
And where can fans find you at, like with your social pages and all that stuff?
Here, I will still be talking a week from now, 2 weeks from now. You can find me at, I think Facebook is Dana DeLorenzo Official, and Twitter and Insta are at I'm Dana DeLorenzo. Because
Awesome.
real Dana DeLorenzo was taken.
Oh my God, really?
Or not available at the time. I don't know. But I'm Dana. At I'm Dana DeLorenzo. Yeah.
Sweet.
But I'm also really bad at social media. So if it takes me a minute to respond, I don't check DMs either. But I'm really much more active on Twitter. I'd say it's easier to see those. It's easier to see comments there, I think. But so don't hold it against me. My Instagram profile literally says phone ignorer. So I don't like phones. I don't like technology. See, we brought it full circle. Exactly. You see what I'm saying, Rocco? This is why I hate phones, because I hate technology, because technology hates me. And everything that happened before this interview is why. That only
I know. Oh yeah.
You know. I already told you. You're like, oh yeah? No, yeah, we talked about. That's why you were laughing when we started.
I know, exactly.
So you get it, Rocco.
Yes,
anyway,
definitely
so nothing personal to people who message. I will get on it right on top of that, Rose. That's a reference to an old movie that I don't know why. Do you know the movie? Do you know what that reference? I want to see if you know.
Oh no, I actually don't.
But it's a great movie. It's classic. It's not a horror movie. Right on top of that,
What
Rose.
is it?
Christina Applegate. Don't tell Mom the babysitter stuff.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. Maybe that's not the line, but in my head, I think her line is always when she's got all this stuff and she's pretending. Right on top of that, Rose.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
I know, and I was just thinking about it today when the walls of my life were collapsing, and I had to do all these things, and and everything was running late, and it's like more stuff was coming in. I'm like, just in my head, I went right on top of that, Rose, and that's what I thought of it today. I have to see if that's still. I love that movie. I saw it a bunch, but we might have to go back and revisit that.
Right.
Well, next time you can have me on, and we'll watch the whole movie.
Okay. Together,
and I probably will talk through the whole movie And I'll still be talking after the movie. This interview is the actual length of a movie. So I just want to say gold stars to any of you that are still listening. And I'm sorry. You may now continue to listen to Rocco's other episodes. Please don't hold this against him. It was me. All he's doing is laughing and being a great host and being very gracious host. Don't hold my long-winded.
This is fun. This is fun. I love
Well,
it.
I'm glad. If the host is happy, then I'm happy. Never mind, listeners and viewers. No, but thank you for being such a captive audience, Rocco. And
Of course.
I said, and for laughing and you really you have very good energy for being a horror guy. I found that a lot. I found that out when I met a lot of you horror fans.
Yeah.
That people have. I think people could think it's like you're the the whatever scary fans or most intense or whatever fan, like goth or whatever. No, I find that horror fans are the most beautiful, biggest hearted, wonderful, giggling, laughing, joyful people.
Right? Exactly.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Let that be a lesson
Yes.
for all of us.
Yes.
That's the theme song I sang. Smash vs. Evil Dead terribly. I think that's our cue. I think we should pull the plug now.
Yeah.
Rocco, no, truly, you are a great host.
Thank you. I
thank
appreciate
you so
that.
much for your patience today with the scheduling.
Definitely.
And thank you for laughing your way through this interview, because it made me feel like I wasn't bombing as much as I'm sure I was.
You were absolutely great, and I would love to have you back on again when the video game's out.
I would love that too. We will make that happen.
Okay, that works.
Hear that, internet gods? You hear that? Technology. We're making it happen, and don't get in our way.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to talk to you, and thank you again. And thank you to everyone who's still watching. And yeah, we'll talk after the game.
Okay, that sounds good. It was so much fun, and you're so awesome. Thank you.
Back at you, my paisan from Philly.
Exactly.
Go get yourself a cheesesteak from me. Go get yourself a cheesesteak and dip it in some gravy. All right.
Have a good one.
You too, baby. Ciao, ciao.